the Lord placed upon my heart Genesis 3, and then I'll explain why. The serpent was the craftiest of all the creatures the Lord God had made. So the serpent came to the woman. Really, he asked, none of the fruit in the garden? God says you mustn't eat any of it? Of course we may eat it, the woman told him. It's only the fruit from the tree at the center of the garden that we are not to eat. God says we mustn't eat it or even touch it, or we will die. That's a lie, the serpent hissed. You will not die. God knows very well that the instant you eat, you will become like him, for your eyes will be opened. You will be able to distinguish good from evil. The woman was convinced how lovely and fresh looking it was and would make her so wise. So she ate some of the fruit and gave some to her husband, and he ate it too. And as they ate it, suddenly they became aware of their nakedness and were embarrassed. So they strung fig leaves together to cover themselves around the hips. So why do I bring this up? Well, again, the Lord places everything upon my heart. Okay. Apple was designed 10 years ago, the Apple iPhone. It has disrupted many lives. It's caused the end of paper maps, amongst many other things, and lastly, most importantly, small talk. The price of an Apple phone today is $999. Most iPhone users are as young as 11 years old. Remember when we were that age? We played outside. We hung out in each other's bedrooms and giggled. We called each other on phones and gossiped and played around. But it wasn't the most important thing to us, you know? Today, they don't do that. They're on their phones constantly and uncensored. They use Snapchat. Selfies are very big. Videos, porn. One little girl quoted, "I spent most of my summer alone in my room on my phone and was very happy." Now, the metaphor comes from the book of Genesis. The fruit commonly has been represented as the apple, due to the Latin word for apple, which is M-A-L-U-S, malice, which can mean both evil and apple. Since the iPhone generation, there's no social interaction. There's mental health issues. Teen suicide skyrocketed since 2011. This is not an exaggeration. The deterioration linked to iPhones. Again, no playing outside, no reading books. Now when people want to look something up, they go right to their phones, Google it. They have an app for everything. The worst thing, and that I see a lot, which breaks my heart, is when people are out together, families, and they're not interacting. At a dinner table, all their faces are in their phones. Parents will give their children phones, so while they're driving, they could listen to their music or talk on their phone And their children have their own phones so they could play video games. They don't know what their children are doing on those phones. This makes me very upset. The inventor of the iPhone is no other than Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was an admitted Luciferian, and he was a board member on no other than the Walt Disney Corporation. One of his quotes was, "I get asked why Apple customers are so loyal. It's not because they're beloved Apple to the Church of Mac. That's ridiculous." I think it's very weird that he uses the word church, don't you? His other quote was, "I'm very excited about having the internet in my den." So anyway, I wanted to come on here and discuss that. The Lord placed it upon my heart. I do believe that technology can be a good thing, and we as humans abuse it and use it. So take note. Don't buy your children cell phones. Don't give in because they're saying all their friends have one. Take your children to the park. Talk to them. Stop texting your friends and breaking up with people by texts and so on and so forth. Communicate. Talk. Eyeball to eyeball. There's nothing like it. Technology is used for good things, yes, but it's abused for bad things. And mostly, it's ruining our children's lives. They're not reading. Their memory has declined because everything's stored in their phones. They don't know telephone numbers. They don't have to. Everything's stored in their phones. So, Apple, in Genesis, Eve bit the apple because Satan deceived her. And that was the fall of man. And then here comes Steve Jobs, who's a admitted Luciferian, who's passed away now, invented Apple with a bite out of it. And I think that sends a message. So the next time you walk by an Apple store and you're thinking about spending $1,000 plus on a phone and adding it to your bill and finding a way to get it and breaking your butt to get your kids so they could be so popular and fit in, no. Stand. Let them love nature. Let them play outside. Let's go back to the way things used to be. I'm anti-technology for that reason. I believe families should sit at a dinner table, talk, discuss, laugh. Sunday was our family day. There's no more family days. There's no more family. It seems as so the phone has become people's family. Have you seen people when they lose their phone? They go crazy. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It's not so bad. Really. So anyway, think on that. I love you all. You're all wonderful. You're all my family. The one good thing about it is that I could come on here and communicate on this platform with you, but I'd much rather be sitting in a room face to face with all of you. Believers and non-believers, talking nicely and debating to one another, hugging one another. That's what I would love. Wouldn't you? Have a great day. I love you all. God bless America and God bless the world. Save the children. This little Italian girl will be back. Ciao.